Welcome back, welcome back. We are still using this team. I like it, so we're gonna keep using it. We're gonna keep tweaking it. Have a little fun. The last live was cut short because I had to make a drop, but not today. Let's get this party started. I'm really enjoying using this Primarina stuff. Primarina looks good here. Like Terra Ghost in particular, delicious. Calm Mind, Terra Ghost, awesome. Just awesome, just awesome. From keeping it fairy just gives me a little bit of vulnerability to Slowking Galar, but I mean beyond that, we good. We are good. So let's break this down. So that's something we're gonna be incorporating. What is the Moltres on this team for? It helps with this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. Literally everything except the fucking Slowking. Has a very hard time. So that's useful information to know when you're assessing your battles in the beginning, right? We're gonna go way back to the basics here. Why? Because you know, at that point, you know, okay, the only thing that would give my Moltres, I guess could have Thunderbolt Valiant and things like that, but you get the idea. Like on typing, Zamazenta Kinet Sweep. It's not amazing. It's nice. It's not amazing. It's not ground shaking. It's not earth shaking. Primarina could sweep guard, iron defense. With that Goldengo in the picture, it's gonna be harder. What? Very annoying, very difficult to deal with. Very problematic. Great Tusk offensive is actually very good, and Dragonite's actually decent as well. So this would be a case where, alright, now we've identified, and he led well, knowing that Slowking would have been a great Moltres situation, but I knew if the Slowking came about, I should have said that in the beginning when my timer was going down. I didn't want to have it be too much of a like over the top video. But I knew in the future sight, because I don't have a steel type on this team, that's one thing where it's like, but the future sight is actually a pain. Primarily because you can just chilly reception. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay. Huh. Is this my dad? Maybe. I am. Okay. As we said, we assessed guard to know it wasn't the biggest deal in the world anywhere. But future sight plus Rocky Helmet. Okay. Okay, so we forced a Terra, which means Moltres is even more problematic than before. So Terra Grass, I've never seen that before, but that's useful. Primarina. Future side Grass Knot. So now this open Moltres is very difficult to deal with now. So again, I'm not the end of the world. 1780 something. I think this is Assault Vest. If I were to D-Knight is really good versus this team too. Moltres probably wouldn't 2k and I'd risk getting Sludge Bomb Poison. Moltres is a little too important to risk getting Sludge Bomb Poison right now. So what I'll end up doing is he's gonna 100% leave this in, and since it's it's Air Balloon, Goldengo. Actually, if this Goldengo gets sacked, my Zamazenta is looking pretty decent, particularly if it's if I choose to terrestrialize it. So a Dragon Dance here would mean Goldengo's in a Shadow Ball. I mean, I can't really. What do I want to do with this? Because the Zenta, I'm gonna Earthquake directly. I am faster, thankfully. Fucking Thunderwave bullshit. Okay, that's a little problematic, but not the end of the world. Again, primarily because my Moltres. So this is a case where we're gonna use our defensive leverage to make all the difference, and since he's Thunderwave and slow, he's very likely going to be susceptible to my Terra Ghost Primarina. So Earthquake first. The Landers doesn't matter. Please break through Dragonite. Thank you. Alright. Please break through. Oh my fucking god. Alright. Very well then. Since Dragonite lost this item, we'll have to play this a little differently. But he's looking to give up his Goldie. So Flamethrower here. Cinderace doesn't matter. Cinderace can't touch the Moltres, so it's a complete waste of a time of a Pokemon. The The boots are cool, I guess, but I mean, they don't really make that much of a difference. My flamethrower is doing 23. Okay, so he roosts here. I'm surprised. What is he gonna do? Sloking Galar. Okay. We actually did. Oh, that's a crit. I was gonna say we did a lot more than I expected there. I have to take the sludge bomb, which is a little annoying. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. I don't want any kind of nonsense. But I've shown Ice Spinner. The only thing that could come in on Ice Spinner is Goldengo. Goldengo could make some sense here, but ooh, it did not die. So okay. So Moltres hard, because Moltres means that KO, and if he recovers, the Goldengo is gone. If he doesn't recover and hexes direct with the Goldengo is gone. So we flamethrower. He probably saves this. E-speed is decent. Doesn't save it. So you notice the positioning of the Moltres is impeccable, right? He gets the sludge bomb here, which is whatever. It's not great, but it's not the end of the world. I'll give him the Dragonite because Moltres is too important. And so now I can go Primarina and I can Terra Ghosts. The Terra Ghost sub CM spam. That'll eat. So now, I wonder if the Valiant is fucking Encore. I wanna I can do this again, and because I have Draining Kiss, I can actually Draining Kiss versus a decent majority of his team. I just don't want I don't want to give up a turn here, particularly because I'm Assault Vest. So I'm willing to Calm Mind. The Cinderace does come out. Again, this is very difficult for him to KO anyway. So if he were to Powerball here, Draining Kiss should KO. Let me run the calc on this. I need to one-shot this. I want to be at full, but if it's not gonna, if it's a roll, Primarina. You can see how the Slowking took a lot of value because of our lack of knowledge. If that's a common set, let me know of the whole Assault Vest Terra Grass thing, and then we will account for that moving forward. So +1 Cinderace. Oh, you bulky pivot. Let me see what my timer is saying. 120, we good. Powerball is 19 to 22. Draining Kiss is 17 to 20. It's not KOing, so we'll just he fucking, oh shit. Oh, he went to Zenta. That's great. That's wonderful. That's amazing. Oh my god, he got a defense drop and it didn't kill. I needed one of those too. Okay. It would have been nice to have gotten a fucking burn there. Because what he's banking on is a bit of luck versus this. My Zenta is good, but I can't. I did not get the you know what. He did not get the you know what, which is great. This allows me to body press directly. The future sights, which is actually really good for us, because this allows us to sub and KO. Doubt he'd leave this in, but the problem is now, depending on what this Landorus is, if it's scarfed, what went for? He has a future. This is probably scarfed. I've seen some of these run Earthbar. I've seen some of these run but either way, my best play here would be the Iron Defense. If he's my best play to Iron Defense. If he's scarfed, if Primarina KO'd the Zamazenta there, I think nah, because he got the defense drop. It is what it is. But we're in decent spot, especially if this is special. If it's special, it's Primarina fodder anyway. So I'll have to just really double down on my Moltres and see what the Valiant's trying to say. What's my worst case scenario? Worst case scenario would be him being scarfed as an Iron Defense. If I double sub, probably objectively the best play. unless he's physical in earthquakes, iron defense. If he's physical in earthquakes, is earth power. So it wouldn't have mattered what I did there. He would have gotten that KO. Now the upside of that is that now, actually, he has Stone Edge earth power. I guess Moltres is common enough now to where that's a thing. Okay. Which means I have to join in Kiss here. Okay, very well. I'm surprised he opts for Cinderace there, considering Fireball, Blaze. So that's a good loss to take. A good lesson to learn there. That the Stone Edge Landorus is something I didn't account for. Stone Edge, and then the Grass Knot. The Slowking took 2 of my mons. Tusk being alive was important, but there's no way I'd predict Terra Grass Knot there. So that can't catch us off guard in the future as we move forward to the next game. This looks a lot simpler, but we're gonna see. Dragonite Destruction looks very, very likely. Garganical Iron Defense as well, like particular Iron Defense. I don't know what the fuck the Chandler is gonna do. Or Zamazenta Iron Defense late game, or not even late game. This is a very strange team. Let's see what it has in store for me though. One would assume the Galvantula is gonna do something. He also has a Gomora. I don't know. Is Galvantula even run? I'm gonna lead with my Tusk here and see what happens. Rapid Spin. I'd assume this is some kind of sash. I know this learns Grass Moose, so it goes Wellspring directly. As we discussed, we're very Wellspring weak. I'm just debating whether or not I want to keep my Zenta's health. Dragonite's too important to just Zenta directly because he's cudgeling. The interesting thing about this is that Zenta, he leaves this in. What the fuck are you doing, bro? Why would you be giving me your Iron Defense directly? It's the Infiltrator Chandelure, Scarf Infiltrator, or Specs Infiltrator. Specs Infiltrator. His Tusk is probably fucking Helmet. Let's say it's not. Let's say it is. And I let him knock out my Zenta here. An Iron Defense. Let's see if it's Helmet. Maybe not. Because I was debating, like, is it the risk versus reward? If Iron Defense again, expecting Helmet Tusk. I don't think it was worth just giving up of extra mod for the Chandelure. So this is a big turn because if this is not special mints, this probably gets to a chaos close. Dragon Dance, yeah. Dual Wing Beat, that probably doesn't even break sub first time. So let's see if this is a roll. Oh man. Leftovers mints. Terrifier would let me eat Dual Wing Beat. Is it worth Terrifying? Giving up the extra mod. I could go Garg and is this what I want to terrestrialize? My Dragonite doesn't give a fuck. Garg Terra. What beats Garg Terra? Nothing. Yeah. Let's just get rid of this mince. Is it worth Iron Defensing? He's gonna EQ and then I'll eat. Or do I just take the EQ and no, there's a little more longevity in Iron Defensing first. Even if I don't KO the mince isn't significant. Yeah. because he likely just leaves it in. But Glum, I figured, I was like, if he does make this sequence, this must mean it has Sludge Wave, which is pretty Meteor Beam. Is that a thing now? This happened the other day. Somebody had a Meteor Beam Glimmora. Okay. I'm just gonna attack this shit, honestly. If the Mence comes in, it's a non-factor. I just guard back. What? Meteor Beam. Okay, so that's a thing now. Useful to know. Man, I'm getting so much data. So much data. So Meteor Beam is on the rise. No pun intended. And again, we're setting up for the Dragonite endgame, but another way you could look at it is I'm killing everything that could be my guard. Or I'm killing everything that could take on my Moltres. Alright, so Terra Fairy. I actually forgot he didn't Terra, so my Tusk is gonna die here. And he gets the Toxic Webs up, which is annoying. Forgot he didn't Terra. Not that it matters that much, but it's a little annoying. But as I said, Garg, it's really just gonna turn into a question of how do you beat Garganacl. Is it worth getting T-Spikes up twice versus... I guess he has to get it up twice. No, I probably could go Moltres and kill this, but he may have Mortal Spin or something like that. So we're just gonna Dragonite. Moltres also cannot be killed. Because if you look at the team, combination of Garganacl and Moltres, I'm really glad to see this here. Thunderwave, Scum Strats, please D-Knight. Because this is the one thing that can thunder my Garg, and Galvantula isn't the weakest thing in the world, right? So it's interesting how, like, of 2 turns, the paralysis is damn near guaranteed. So the Tusk is weird, but it's never muscling past. Never muscling past Garg Iron Defense. So it's bulk up. Willow is okay. And we just flamethrower spam as Garg does this thing. Roll Roost doesn't really make a difference as the Wellspring makes its appearance. Kind of curious if this can ever KO me with Cudgel. I want to know the roll on this. It doesn't. That's useful to know for later. And Garg beats everything else. So we learned a bit more in this game. So what did I learn? I learned that Meteor Beam is a thing. Meteor Beam, Specs Infiltrator, Chandelure. People probably run for Zenta. Zenta is a common enough on Meteor Beam. Galvantula I figured was gonna be, I didn't expect Thunder Wave, but you know, Sticky Web, stuff like that. Ogre Pond's Ivy Cudgel does 84 to Moltres, so that's something to take note of. Never actually count that. So much data, I love it. And this is a really important phase for those of you who are just laddering up. It's like, yeah, but you're going up and down and up. All of this is data, right? Because there's gonna come a point where we hit a threshold where there are not very many surprise factors, and that's usually where you see these 100, 200, 300 point jumps. But players like to switch their team around. If you're not losing because of if you're losing because of surprise factors, you're in the best position. You're just like, oh, I didn't see that coming. And it's not something that if you were to face again, you couldn't deal with. If it's something that's common and you can't deal with it, then it's a team modification. It's something that's uncommon and you couldn't deal with it, you're not. It's uncommon. So to modify your team for that one particular once every 50 battles situation, then you wouldn't modify your team for that. If it's something where you're misplaying, then you just bet. It's perfect. You get to replay review and get better. But yeah, you can't think short term when you're growing, or you're just gonna give up and be a pussy about it. You know, you don't want to be a pussy. You want to be a champion. So, I like Primarina. Primarina looks so good. Does Terra Ghost matter? It won't, because I know. Well, I guess if it's a physical pull, and Shadow Ball pull too, but I can drain and get most of that back. It does matter. I was just saying that on the off chance this Zapdos matchup has to matter. I was gonna say it doesn't matter because, you know, we know how mindless Samurots go. So that thing is gonna die within the first couple turns. But let's make a game plan. Dragonite's looking decent, mighty decent. Dragapult, I mean, Garganical is really good. I want this dead, and Garganical just eats him alive. That was into once. Dragapult is somewhat gone. Zenta is good. Moltres is midish. There's a lot of things that it struggles with. Actually going to Prim lead this. Prim's gonna likely give the impression that I am. This is a very risky next play I'm about to make. I'm gonna make it regardless. If he Tycon Cutters and Soviet mode, my Tusk dies. Because the reason I said the Tycon Cutter was a wild play is if I'm AV Primarina, which 90% of Primarinas are, you put yourself in a really awkward position. But I took a really high risk play there going to my Tusk, because I think Specs would kill me, but the rest wouldn't. And so he happened to go for Take on Cutter and be Specs. So if he Specs and Take on Cutters in the Primarina, then I guess AV Primarina gives him trouble, so he's like, fuck it, I'm willing to just take the hit and go for the attack. But yeah, don't think Salkir would even break my sub either way. But I could also force a terrestrialization. So that might lose me the game. It might, we'll see. I don't know what he's gonna go for here. I don't think Salkir is so, yeah. Does he have anything other than Salkir? And he has EQ. See if EQ breaks this time. He's Terra Water. Without EQ, no boost breaks up Ghost. Yeah. Draining Kiss is a contact move, so this is where I said the Terra Ghost might matter, but if I Terra Ghost here, you probably can't break my sub. Terra Water Guard. Do I need a Terra Fairy? Terra Fairy helps me a little bit with the Samurott and Tusk. Not to where I need it. Especially with the more the Samurott. If I Terra Ghost this, and I beat up the Zapdos, that opens up the Dragapult. I mean the Terra Ghost and Calm Mind. Let's see. VS shouldn't break sub. And now he has to deal with well, if Pult can't knock me out even if Specs. This is a tough mon to go to. It goes Guard. Guard is great. Because he can't heal. Let's see. EQ. Let's see what he goes to. You should probably Earthquake here. I just don't want to risk Samurott being focus sashed. And because if it is, I can't do anything anyway. If I Draining Kiss, it would still be the same outcome. I've seen quite a few Scarfs, so I'm not gonna bank completely on that. I could see him going to the Tycon Cuttermon. But I have to open up his team a little bit because it's Terra Water Garg is a problem. He's running Earthquake to see. Okay. Curse is wise. Curse Garg with max special attack. Did not expect that. That is no bueno. Okay. Doubt he might cure this turn, but yeah. By staring down Tusk here. My Garg is actually very hard for him to KO. Him being cursed. Oh, I haven't seen this set in so long. That's useful to know. How do I win this then? The Zapdos being Volt Switch. The Tusk comes in, which figured would occur sooner or later. He's fucking. I guess it's not the end of the world. He's probably hard switches here, but I can't go off assumptions because this matchup's gonna occur repeatedly. And so now I recover. Well, Moltres, a Moltres pivot. I'll have to up my aggression slightly because of I don't have a surefire way to win this. Assuming things stay at least even. I don't know enough about his Dragapult set. Like if I were to reposition into like if you, what I'm thinking is my opponent would, his best play here would be to go to Samurai on a mid ground. If he headlong rushes and I stay and I'm in a bind, I could go Dragonite. Dragonite's a solid mid ground move. Yeah, Dragonite's a solid mid ground move. Because I could assault cured into his Samurai here. What I'll end up doing is play Ceaseless Edges, which makes sense because it punishes heavily my and so here he'd have a phenomenal position to go to the Zapdos. Or Garg. Garg makes sense too. I do want to hit his Samurai, but I can't. I lost a lot of value going Tusk, but hitting his Zapdos is a big deal for my Zenta later on. They asked for Thunder Wave, which is great. Ice Spinner did 63. So Zenta has a decent shot of pulling me back through this now. Depending on what his Pult is, and depending on what I get out of his Pult. Dragapult's a risky play. I don't think he'd ever Roost. He probably has Volt Switch and Extreme Speed likely won't KO if Ice Spinner did that. Please hit. Thank you. Now he goes Dragapult, but I'm just gonna please Dragonite. Please, for the love of God, breakthrough. It's a little gambly. I could just hard Moltres, which should cover both. Yeah, but he likely doesn't expect me to have ESPD's helmet, so I lose a little more value. But the Moltres being beat down, I mean Moltres. They could Tycon Cutter or Volt Switch. Moltres is necessary really just for the for this thing. Dragonite's a little better, but yeah, if he Volt Switches, that's the issue. It's very odd that he didn't Volt Switch the first time. But maybe he's like, oh well, I just need some damage on the prim. Or he's just not thinking about any of this. That's also an option. So Garg is a horrible mon to bring in here. Because he could have KO'd my Moltres. Now Moltres is back. Garg gets the Salt Cure, which is a little annoying, I guess. But Moltres could have been out the game. Now Moltres is back. Yeah. Like I'm decently back in the game. And then you waste time Salt Curing, which is a mistake. That's a really poor decision just now. So now he has the Iron Crown. Both switches again, I'm sure. It's very low risk. So back on Cutter. Oh, this thing is fast and strong as hell. I didn't expect it to kill my Moltres. That's useful to note. This is actually kind of annoying to my build. I don't have anything that leads well into it except Moltres. Why didn't I lead Moltres this game? Well, obviously the Samurai. No, my lead was correct. It's common enough a mon for me to modify things though. Because it's a particular combination of the mons he has and the sets he has, which is why this isn't blown out. He happens to have Cursed Terra Water Guard, which is a horrible situation for my Primarina. Two body press is better. Yeah. They opts for dose. I'm surprised by. Crunch, body press. pretty dumb to go Pult. Crunch likely does 17 at least. Oh no. Oh my god, I fucked up. I thought Crunch would outdo Body Press. It wasn't. I probably still would have lost the game anyway. I don't see myself winning this because of his Pult. He's risking Hurricanes. I don't know why. He doesn't have to. He's hitting them. Oh, what might have said? I can't believe I didn't kill this fucking Zapdos. Now it doesn't matter what I do. He's gonna get paralyzed and get the luck he needs. But as I'm assessing this, I don't know what I will say. My Dragonite is underperforming as far as like the team structure changes. Like Dragonite's not giving me enough bang for my buck. I can't switch it into anything, and it's not like just destroying mons and teams with a quickness. The Dragonite was there when other things weren't, so the Dragonite made sense at that point. But I'm thinking now, would it be better to take D-Knight off or something else? Because Evolve switches actually broke this up, but the Pult plays is good play. Doesn't really matter what we do there. So I Swiss Pult, which is what I figured. So it wouldn't have mattered what I'd done anyway. Because now he's just gonna go to the Tycon Cutter Mon. I can bank on a choke, I suppose, but it doesn't make a difference. You never give up, quote unquote, but you'd have to be an absolute. Like, even if I KO the Zapdos, but I suppose if I KO the Zapdos, I had a shot. I just thought Crunch would kill, and I was like, if he does some dumb shit and go to Dragapult. But as I'm playing now, I'm like, the bang for the buck I'm getting for D-Knight is just not there, and I'm really struggling with speed outside of my Zenta. And obviously, you know, the way Zenta is used, you don't want to just throw it in there. I'm thinking, what are some common patterns I'm noticing? If it's worth adding another speedster like Pult, dual U-turn, maybe. Because Zenta and Dragonite are two mons that just almost never touch the field until the end. And that's having me playing with 4 mons, and it's really constraining. And the immediate lack of power is a problem. I'm gonna try a Pult and see what happens. So he goes to Samurai, which is fine. It's the right thing to do. Actually, Ceaseless Edges directly. I guess I could have fished for it, but again, as I said, I just cannot foresee how. Well, he could do some dumb shit here and not. It's U-turn most likely. I don't think that kill. Oh, it does. Does 8%? Never mind. So Iron Crown comes in. I should have went Zenta there, but and then he just goes for that one move, Tycon Cutter. Yeah, this thing is actually not as bad. Bad isn't the word I'm looking for. It's actually more problematic than I thought. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna sub out D-Knight for Dragapult here, from a speed standpoint and an immediate power standpoint. I'm gonna rock Choice Spec Simple, because even with that Slowking Galar matchup, the fact that Moltres was my counter once it switched up to Terra Grass is problematic. Like, it shouldn't have to be that way. So we're gonna edit forfeit. This is such great data. We're going to edit, and I have a bunch of other teams that some people passed me that I'm saving, but I like this team, and I know when I got something that's I actually enjoy using, and all losses are like things that could have been avoided, so I'm not concerned about it. Yeah. I was on the phone. But yeah. Great. Alright, so now we're facing the weirdest team of all time. Did I actually put the stats on my poll? So let's see. You know what might be worth it? Hex. Do I have enough status to do a Hex? This is a very weird looking team. That's in the 1600 kings. 1600 kings, no. Terra Ghost Primarina is gonna give this guy a hard time if bro isn't careful. And which one would be better? I don't think I Terra my Garg here. Terra Fairy is nice, but not mandatory. Though I can see a case for it. Definitely see a case for it. I love Pulse immediate raw power. Right, you can see Pulse immediately can go spam force Tinglu in. What is the goal of this team? I haven't seen a Skeledirge, so I'm curious to see what's about to go down. I want to beat down his Tinglu a bit before I set up my Primarina, because that'd be the one sort of, you know, I'm gonna burn his Pex and force Tinglu in. So Kyurem, Tinglu, okay. Burnt your Pex earlier. Don't know what Pex is gonna do. One thing I've learned, don't U-turn on Pex, especially low on the ladder. They'll baneful bunker on you. So it's T-Spikes, which is kind of good to know because it might not be packing haze. We shall see. But Ops for Tusk. Maybe a pivot back to Pex. Maybe a pivot to Kyurem. Knock. Oh, when it gets burnt. Alright. That's a little annoying. I want the Pex matchup though. Knock is a little problematic. I'll take the thing. Come on, man. If he switches to the Skeledirge. That's such a big miss. Okay, we'll take it. So we roost here on likely Whirlwind. Whirlwind could be devastating if he gets the right one. Ruination. Okay, I'll take that. So I'd either roost spam until he whirlwinds. The Moltres isn't that important. The Ruination, yeah, it's actually best to do it now. The Dirge, taunt. Oh, that's perfect. Dirge would be a wild mon to do here. Dirge would be a wild mon to use here. But even if he leaves in, the Tinglu is fine. Scarm. Oh, Pex. Pex is even wilder than Dirge. Black Sludge Pex. He's so lucky he didn't die. I don't trust this guy. I think he has Baneful Bunker. Been Headlong Rush. I fucking knew he had Baneful Bunker, man. Look, guys, what did I say in the beginning of it? But I just need to get rid of these T-Spikes, honestly, for my Primarina. If he has Baneful Bunker, I mean, if he has Haze, then I can Water Voice Smooth destroy him. So Scarm should come in. I lost a lot of value off my Tusk because he's not poisoned, but I got rid of the hazards. So one Turner rocks, so it spikes. Tinglu is burnt. Toxapex is damn near dead. So let's reassess and see what we're looking at here. Because of the Dirge, Zamazenta is irrelevant. Okay. Oh, Tusk, huh? Oh. The reason not to shut a ball spam here. Tinglu is his rocker though. I didn't lose my boots on the blue though. Draco Meteor something can't be guarded against either, but I can't risk missing the Draco. I've seen these run rest as well. This is something I'm accounting for. And I likely lure in the Dirge. The way he played his Pex, I wouldn't be shocked to see the Dirge come in. It's a little, as long as the T-Spikes aren't in. So Headlong Rush, even if he leaves the Tinglu in, because that's his core Shadow Ball stopper. What's my Dragon Pulse? Did I make a Terra Ghost? Terra Dragon. I did be Terra Ghost. Imagine Terra Ghost in a game like this. So Skarm. I think he dove those to Dirge, but I'll still spin. The reason being is that I want the Primarina matchup anyway. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Alright. No. Okay. I completely blanked on the... Again, my issue is that I don't want this whirlwind spamming. So that's a biggie. A little bit of a biggie there. My Garganic was really problematic. Did he tear already? Sorry, tear. That means if I did he confirm Rocky Helmet? I don't think he had ever shown that he was Helmet. So the rapid spin wasn't a bad play. I don't think he ever showed he was Helmet. If I recall correctly, I haven't. What would have touched this arm? Okay. Probably could have did something else here. Tinglu, Taunt Ruination. Now that Moltres is knocked Tusk. Oh boy, this is gonna be an interesting game. It's gonna be an interesting game. It does go Tinglu every time. Okay. Especially Ruination. Shadow Ball the first turn, then Molly. I'm probably gonna again. I'm banking pretty heavily on Primarina being able to wrap this up, especially because I burned his Tusk. But we'll see. Toxapex, Below Spear for sure. Actually, if this shit gets up T-Spikes, I'm fooped. Actually, can't risk that. Painful Bunkers. Does it have? I don't know where you have Recover Haze. Oh yes, Tox Blessed. Okay, this is the position out. So he had Toxic, Baneful Bunker, Toxic Spikes. This is wild stuff. So this is likely the beauty of this Psychic Noise move, and my typing is great. So Terra Fairy, Psychic Noise does 22. That does nothing. Torch Song. The beauty of it is that Torch Song does not go through 14% though. X. You will always be every time. Psychic Noise doing 22%. I can't risk him. The Hex is just strong enough to break my sub, so that he doesn't even matter. There is the chance of Zenta pulling this off for me if I get enough damage. Draining Kiss did. Draining Kiss is doing 15%. Psychic Noise kills. Oh, it barely missed the KO. He tried to slack off though, which is great. That's great. So I KO'd the Skeledirge, which means my Zenta could win. It's very likely, very probable. I just have to be mindful of his Skarmory. And I can't have his fucking Pex getting T-Spikes up. So I'm probably staring down Kyurem trying to freeze dry here. And I could terrestrialize. But even then, Yes, yes, Primarina, go. Primarina, keep going. I forgot that I had gotten the Combine boost, actually. I forgot I never switched out. So there was no way Freeze Dry was KOing there. Terra Ghosting Sangin was always a play. I'm actually surprised how little Draining Kiss did from a +1. I know it's 50 base, but geez, Kyurem, not even half, bro. Barely half. I actually blanked on the Freeze Dry. So yeah, Primarina, the comeback of Primarina was needed. Dragapult pulled its weight immediately from us switching. Imagine if we had a Dragonite that game. Dragonite was doing nothing. So little adjustments like these over time. I didn't play that game as perfectly as I could have, truth be told. I think one thing I'm having trouble with is figuring out which sweeper is most optimal, because I have to double down on one of them usually. And if it's Garg, let's say in this game, Garg looks good, but the Tycon Cutter Beast is a problem. So in the Dragonite teams that I was facing, in a case where I'm staring down the Tycon Cutter Mon, if I had the Dragonite still, I'd have to lead Moltres, but then he can Volt Switch. And if if he has an alternative thing, in the case where an alternative that's usually a lead, like Glamora, you've seen a lot of Meteor Beam and Power Gem Glamoras, or Samurott, I can't Moltres because there's too much of a cost. Those are very hazardous mons, no pun intended, and so it's just a lot of cost to it. I'm like, okay, well, we need to make some adjustment because that's too frequent of a mon I'm running into to just have that. And so Primarina CM sweeping is likely in a matchup like this. Lenta is mid. Garg is good. Garg is more like, how do you switch into this beast of annoyingness than anything else. Dragapult, handsome as hell. Tusk, what's the core function? Nothing in particular. As far as like KOs, doesn't KO anything. Scarm is, I mean, the core is there. So it's really doubling down on the annoyance of Garg and the late game sweeping of Primarina. As far as Moltres guards again pretty much everything on his team except that Dragapult. So I'm curious to see how he deals with the combination of Garganical and Moltres. I'm literally curious. Like, I want to see if there is a way where I'm not at the advantage of the Draco Swim. Okay. Tinglu is something I love to see here. Excellent. Keep doing that Tinglu. Again, I'm gonna see how does one deal with Bargain at 37%. We'll recover here as he rocks. Sure. Iron Defense as okay, Ruination is not what I expected. I'm facing down the Tycon Cutter Mon now. Okay, well I'll do that. Because the punishment, he loses so much value this turn. To the point where he can't risk not Volt Switching. I mean, he can't risk not Tycon Cuttering, but this is a case where I can't risk him doing that. I can't risk my Great Tusk. And I can't, Moltres, this is where a lot of players may lose themselves. Moltres absolutely obliterates his team. So for me to go Moltres on a potential U-turn would diminish so much. Right, and so I'm like, okay, well, what is my second best bet? Well, this Zamazenta is mid as fuck. And says like, yo, Jam, Zamazenta is a late game sweeper. Yeah, not when he has a fucking Dragapult and a Valiant and his own Zamazenta. So I'm willing to risk him Volt Switching our Tycon Cutter on Zamazenta because it's just so bulky, and then he has to stand to take another fucking Salt Cure. Come into my Garganical again and you'll see. Come on my Garganic. Well, pause. But now it's a situation where we force in Valiant or Dragapult. Right. Neither of which matter. Dragapult's a little more annoying. Corviknight comes out. I didn't expect Corvi, but we'll take it. Corvi's a decent mid-ground actually. And so what this allows is for me to mid-ground Moltres and then see, well, what do you have for Moltres? And Egress getting burnt too. We never get. So Tycon Cuttermon is in. I'm very surprised by this. Is this shit learn Thunderbolt or something? I'm gonna roost here. So he goes to it to Volt Switch, which was odd because I could just hard switch Tusk. So we're gonna burn the Tinglu, and that's gonna help our Primarina and Dragapult later on. You can Ruination all you want, bro. Probably gonna Ruination spam because he knows he needs the Moltres slow. So look at how we're forcing Tinglu to get fucked up here. And Moltres a little lower than I'd like for it to be, but it's still high enough to where it can deal with Zenta. Plus, Zenta I've learned runs again Terra Fire now, so not even 100% bet. But this is far more control game because a lot of this stuff we've lost to. Like I've gotten ran up on by the Zenta. The Tycon Cutter thing literally ran up on me this fucking life. And so the surprise factor is less, which is allowing us to project and make better plays. And so that's always like gathering data. It's like good, like gather the data, bros. Gather the data, because if you don't do so, you're just gonna be a pussy that cries and oh my god, I lost, I can't take it off. So yeah, and you have too much potential. I don't have to necessarily give up on mine here, but we haven't seen anything from this poll yet, so I don't trust it. And now I've gotten, I think, every condition I need met for my Primarina. So Garg is too useful to hard switch to Garg. It's darts, it's physical. It's banded. That's so if it's banded, that means get to go Premium Calm Mind directly. He probably sacks. Probably tries to go Corviknight, which is gonna be perfect for me. Tinglu comes in, I'll take that. Ruination and yeah. Now you see how hard this is to KO. But we said that early in the game, like he's very Primarina susceptible. And so it's a question of finding out what are you gonna do. I was likely gonna go Dragapult and try to Terra Ghost. Terra Blast, Terra Ghost, you get the idea. And so we managed to force his Terra Blast. I'm not willing to take that hit here. Too important of a mon. And Garg wins after that. Just give up my Tusk here. Terrible. I just don't know the road. Why would you even risk? You're not in a position to make that play, to make that risk, but did it. We headlong rush here. As you see him, we get a crit, which blows. That mattered. It wouldn't have won the game, but it did matter. Yeah, that's a crit. It did definitely matter. 100% matter. And now Garg is just inevitable, so we'll just rock since he finally Terra Blast Ghosts. But just recover here. Enta comes in, Iron Defense along with them, and then Saw Cure in case it's a roar set. Yeah, I've seen those. And now he gets punished heavily because what you're gonna do. Even if you body press, it's just not doing enough. The combination of Saw Cure, you're doing 47, but that's just not gonna cut it. And Prim and Garg beats the last two. He's gonna make a comment about the crit and then forfeit. But yeah, the crit mattered. I mean, I'm not one to sit here and pretend like things don't matter. It made the game easier. But yeah. What was I talking about? Okay, yeah. So just Psychic Noise here. Terra Blast locks. I could have literally just hard switched to my Garganical there. I didn't have to sack anything. But there's like, what is he gonna do? He's crit fishing. Makes sense. Garg is a bitch. Like this thing right here, boy. You do not want to get ran up on. Garg to run up on you in the middle of the night. It's not something you want. Not something you want. Do not want Rard to run up on you in the middle of the night. Okay. So Pulp did its damn thing. Let me see, I have somewhat to be, so I'm gonna make sure I'm able to render this in due time. But yeah, I think this adjustment makes it even better. So, you know, I know for this particular like fun series ish, which is really just shaking rust off with Jam live instead of me doing this off screen. Usually I would do this off screen, but I decided like, no, let's just do some long lives. And invite the academy into the process. This is a very odd looking team, but very cool. So let me see. Iron Defense looks like it just. Calm Mind Primarina is problematic, but Breloom. I need for him to sack Breloom very early. Need him to sack Breloom very early. Let's see. Moltres is good for Gambino, this, and Breloom. Amazenta is good for 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. See what this does. But this thing runs weakness policy. Sometimes they run Destiny Bonds, so I want to be careful of that. But about 4 members. Primarina eats him outside of this Breloom. Garg outside of the Breloom. Really not even the Breloom, because if I Iron Defense, Garg can 6-0 him depending on what his sets are. The Hatterene is the one thing I need on, and if this is like Steel Beam, that would be an issue. Dusk is decent. But what to do in a situation like this? Let's say it's Tread's lead. He has a lot of pesky fucking leads that could give me a hard time very early. How do I intend to prevail though? Tusk versus Loom lead is a bitch. Polt is the highest value. So let me think. Let's say this Treads is irrelevant. Let's say I were to U-turn into my Tusk and the Treads rocks. I'm okay with that. Because then we're having a Hatterene off. Unless he tries to go to Cerulege. Okay. Why would you Cerulege if you're gonna you don't want me getting up rocks? So if you were gonna take a Headlong Rush, I don't. Okay, it's Poltergeist. Could have gotten up rocks. Say Poltergeist means he's weak. So it's the heavy, not heavy blooded boots. Man, I could have gotten up rocks here. Rocks is it is the move. I was faster, so his Poltergeist did more. So if I got up rocks there, it'd have been a good position to be in. Let's see if he can do anything versus my Garg. Ugh, okay. He got away with the rocks. Either way, the way he's playing, I mean, unless that's an assault, it can't be assault best Treads. I could have potentially one-shot his Treads. Poltergeist / Bitter Blade. I cure here. Oh, yeah. My Garg's dead. I literally just talked about the fact that I've seen Destiny Bond. Garg dying isn't the biggest deal in the world, but we just talked about that, so I think that's funny. He'd need to use a mon that probably Loom. Valiant is great. Maybe Thunderbolts. Maybe. What is this guy trying to do? The reason I say that is because he's getting weaker and weaker to Zenta, and so I'm trying to understand what's going on. See if there's something I'm missing. I know he doesn't want my Tusk to spin, so it's probably Valiant on the Tusk spin. Yeah, but just cook yourself. And so now Loom. Loom is a little problematic if the Loom is Jolly. Well, Spore is banned. I just realized Spore is banned. They can't even Spore. What is this gonna do to my Zenta? You'd have to use Rock Tomb here. Rock Tomb's annoying, but my Moltres is too good, so we're gonna go Tusk here. Do Tusk things. Bullet Seed, fine. I don't need the rocks. Would I go Polt? Here. Actually, yeah. Bullet Seed's a little. Actually, with this one's another move. It's not as Bulldoze. I'll go Polt. Polt eats whatever. Yeah, and I get to U-turn. I need this thing sash gone. That's the big thing. I don't want it with having a sash. It's gonna give me, if I just gave up my Tusk there, Now you got 3 hits and a crit, so it could have been close. So it goes Gambit, which could have gotten cooked. Okay. Gambit is. I'm glad to see Gambit. This allows for me to stealth rock to break that fucking sash, and now, I guess he thought I would rapid spin, so I went that. But my Moltres is in a position of power now, unless this is Terrifier. If it's Terrifier, it's not the end of the world. My Zenta 1v1s, not forced to Terra. I Wisp. Better to Wisp. Or is it better to Flamethrower? Let's say it is Terrifier. This Wisp guarantee Flamethrower would knock it out. Whereas, but he has to touch me twice. Pause. Fucking crit me. Alright, since he's not switching, it's a little annoying if I miss the Wisp. BSDs. How, bro? How do dudes get this lucky? How, bro? Bro, touch my loot. It's whatever. Again, I'm just not sure if this is faster than my Moltres is too important though. It smashes the remainder of his team. Zenta can't get past Hatterene. Pull Shadow Ball spams and is victorious. My Moltres is very slow. Actually, it's best to go Zenta here actually. I'm still faster than Loom, funnily enough. Body press, doesn't really matter what I do. Wonder what the Valiant's gonna do. Does it have anything to touch Moltres? The Marina coming in is also problematic. Oh, it's AV, it's knock, it's physical. A little problematic now then. It's Sack Gambit, yeah. Will-O-Wisp first. Yeah. Has he terrestrialized yet? It's not. And then I just shot a ball. So what would I need to be concerned about? A Hatterene terrestrializing, which would mean Terrifiers and would be blessed. Yeah, so my play here is to just Flamethrower. So he is faster than me. Okay. I just shot a ball here. KO that. Hatterene comes in, and then one would assume it would terrestrialize into something. I guess the Valiant could be mixed, could be knockoff and mixed, so I don't want to be too cocky about it. But you know, Zenta Terrifier would beat that. So he terrestrialized into something here. So let's say it's Terra Water. Is it worth switching out here? Into Primarina? Terra Water Psy Shock perhaps. But he'd need to Calm Mind. Terra Water. Right, so force the Terra. I guess it wouldn't have made a difference if I got a special defense up or not. GG, bro. He needed the Calm Mind to have a fighting chance. I was just like thinking about all the sets he could be. But look how much of a difference Dragapult has made. Such a subtle change. Just that immediate power. It's lovely, lovely. So yeah, we're at hour 4 minutes. We finally made some positive. Every live we make positive progress, but we just had to lose a game or two in the beginning, get the data, then come back. Love it. So, it's 2:05. I have to get ready to be somewhere. Actually, we'd just do an hour and a half and just round us out at 1800. But I'm not sure how long the next games are gonna take. Can't push it. So if you enjoyed, hit the like button down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.